So, your Honda just threw a P0872 error code at you, and you're probably wondering what on earth that means. Don't worry, in the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly what that code is, what's causing it, and what your plan of action should be. Let's get right into it. Ah, yes, the good old check engine light. It's never fun to see, but that little code P0872 is actually your car trying to tell you something very specific. So let's play translator and figure out what it's saying. All right, first things first, what is your car's computer actually trying to communicate with this code? We've got to start with the official technical definition. Okay, that sounds like a whole lot of jargon, right? But the two things you really need to pull from that are electrical problem and low signal. Basically, your car's main brain, which is called the powertrain control module, or PCM, is having a really hard time hearing from a specific part in your transmission. You know what? Let's make this way simpler. Just think of it like this. Your car has a brain, and it has a messenger. The P0872 code just means the message between those two isn't getting through clearly. It's like a bad cell phone connection. So, to really get what's going wrong here, we need to properly introduce the two main players in this little drama. So let's meet the brain and the messenger.
On one side, you've got the brain. That's your car's powertrain control module, the PCM. It's the big boss, the master computer that calls all the shots for the engine and transmission. And on the other side, you've got the messenger. That's the fourth clutch transmission fluid pressure switch. Its one and only job is to send important status updates over to the brain.
So here's the play-by-play. When you're driving and the car shifts into fifth gear, the brain, the PCM, is expecting to get a very specific message from its messenger, that little pressure switch. But when that message comes back super weak or maybe doesn't come back at all, the brain says, whoa, something's not right here, flags it as an error, and boom, your check engine light pops on. Okay, now we understand what the problem is. The next big question is, why is it happening? The best way to think about this is like an investigation. And in our investigation, we have four main suspects we need to look at. Let's start with our prime suspect. This is by far the most common reason for this code. Yep, more often than not, the problem is just that simple. The messenger itself, that fourth clutch pressure switch, has just failed. It's a small sensor, and like any part, it can just wear out and break over time. Now, for our second possible culprit, it's all about the connection. So what if the messenger is perfectly fine? Well, then we have to look at the communication line between the messenger and the brain. An intermittent short to ground is just a fancy way of saying the wiring is bad. The electrical signal is getting lost or scrambled on its way to the PCM. All right, time for suspect number 3. This one's a little bit different. So in this scenario, the messenger isn't broken. It's just stuck. Think of it like a light switch that's jammed in the on position. It's sending a signal all the time, even when it's not supposed to. And that constant incorrect signal totally confuses the brain. And that brings us to our fourth and final suspect, which is also the least common of the bunch. It's possible, though pretty rare, that the messenger is fine, the wiring is fine, and the problem is actually with the brain itself. A faulty PCM can sometimes misinterpret a perfectly good signal and throw up that P0872 error code by mistake. Okay, we've identified our 4 suspects. Now for the part you've been waiting for, the solutions. Let's put together your action plan. This table really lays it all out for you, and you might notice the pattern here. For 3 of the 4 causes, if the pressure switch is bad or if it's just stuck on, the fix is the same. You just replace the switch. If you've got that wiring problem, that short to ground, you'll still want to replace the switch, but you also have to carefully check the wiring itself. And only in that rare last-ditch case where everything else has been ruled out, would you then look at replacing the brain, the PCM. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, number 1, getting a correct diagnosis is absolutely crucial. You don't want to waste money replacing parts you don't need to. Also, don't just ignore this code. It can lead to bigger, more expensive transmission issues down the road. And finally, you're now armed with the knowledge to walk into a mechanic shop and have a really informed conversation. So the mystery of the P0872 code is pretty much solved. You know what it is, you know the likely suspects, and you know the solutions. The power is officially in your hands. The only question left is, what's your next move?